didn't happen all at once. At first, it felt like small moments of distraction. A child too focused on a toy, a show, or a game to respond right away. The parent would call once, then again, expecting a quick reaction. But over time, those small delays became longer. One call turned into three. Three turned into five. Eventually, it felt like the child wasn't listening at all. One evening, the parent stood in the living room, asking the child to come to dinner. "It's time to eat," the parent called out. No response. The child remained focused on the screen, completely absorbed. The parent repeated the instruction, this time louder. Still nothing. Frustration began to rise. By the third or fourth call, the voice carried irritation. "I said come now," the child finally reacted, but slowly, with a look that showed resistance more than understanding. This pattern repeated day after day. The more the parent called, the less effective it became. The voice got louder, the instructions became sharper, but the results didn't improve. Instead, the child seemed to tune it out more easily, almost as if the repeated calls had become background noise. The parent started to feel ignored, disrespected, even powerless. It wasn't just about the action, it was about the feeling that their words didn't matter anymore. One day, after another moment of being ignored, the parent stopped and asked a different question. Not, why isn't the child listening? But what is the child actually experiencing in that moment? The answer shifted everything. When children are deeply focused, especially on something engaging like a game or screen, their attention narrows. They are not actively choosing to ignore. They're simply not fully processing what is being said. And when instructions are repeated from a distance without connection, they become easier to ignore over time. The parent realized that calling repeatedly was not improving attention. It was weakening it, so the approach changed. The next time the child was absorbed in an activity, the parent did not call out from across the room. Instead, they walked closer. No speaking yet, just movement. The parent stood near the child, then gently touched the child's arm. The child looked up. That moment of attention was different. It was direct. It was real. "It's time to come eat," the parent said calmly. The child hesitated for a second, then paused the activity and stood up. No repeated calls, no raised voice. Just one moment of connection followed by one clear instruction. This became the new habit. Instead of calling multiple times, the parent focused on getting attention first. Not through volume, but through presence. A gentle touch, a name spoken once, eye contact. Over the next few days, the results began to show. The child responded more consistently. The delays became shorter. The need to repeat instructions almost disappeared. One of the biggest changes happened during transitions. Moving from one activity to another had always been difficult. The child resisted stopping something enjoyable, especially when asked from a distance. But now, the parent approached each transition differently. Before asking the child to stop, the parent connected first. A hand on the shoulder, a calm voice, a moment of eye contact. "It's time to switch," the parent would say. The child still hesitated sometimes, but the resistance was softer. It didn't turn into a struggle. The parent also introduced a small change that made a big difference. Instead of giving sudden instructions, they began to prepare the child in advance. "In a few minutes, we're going to eat." This gave the child time to adjust mentally. It reduced the shock of interruption. It made the transition smoother. Ignoring behavior started to fade, not because the child was forced to listen, but because the communication improved. Another important moment came when the child ignored a request again. This time, instead of repeating the instruction louder, the parent paused, walked closer, made eye contact. "I'm going to wait until you're ready to listen," the parent said calmly. Then the parent stayed quiet. No repeating, no escalation, just waiting. The silence created awareness. The child looked up, realizing that the usual pattern was different. There was no pressure, no noise, no repeated commands to ignore. After a moment, the child responded. That moment showed something powerful. When repetition stops, attention increases. The parent learned that repeating instructions too many times teaches children that they don't have to respond the first time. It creates a pattern where listening becomes optional. By reducing repetition and increasing connection, that pattern began to change. Over time, the child started responding sooner, often after the first instruction. Not perfectly, but more consistently. The parent no longer felt ignored, and the child no longer felt overwhelmed by constant noise. The biggest realization became clear. Ignoring behavior is not always about disobedience. It is often about attention. When attention is not secured, instructions are lost. When connection comes first, listening follows. The next time your child ignores you, don't repeat the same words louder. Pause. Walk closer. Get their attention. Speak once, then wait. That simple shift can change everything, because children don't ignore what they truly hear. And they truly hear when you connect first. Try this today. If you blink, you miss it. So subscribe now.